America, 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 America. Sorry, guys. Welcome back to WCS Winter America. I felt like we didn't have enough America today with 4 American players, so I decided to add a little more. My name is Fear Dragon. I'm joined by the American Zombie Grub. What's up?
That's true. Some people still get that wrong.
No, he's Korean.
No, he's American. We adopted him.
This is actually quite true. But, ladies and gentlemen, we got 2 American homeboys duking it out for the last spot in this group to move on to the round robin, the round 8. It is MCanning versus puCK, another Protoss versus Protoss. I am super pumped for this one. I do think that this will be a big match for MCanning specifically, just because he has not actually been able to beat puCK in a tournament series. He goes 50-50 with him on the ladder, but the ladder is a very different beast in these tournament settings.
Yes, it is. And MCanning, despite being a pretty awesome player, doesn't have a ton of experience in tournament settings yet, although it is climbing every year. Goes to more Cheesadelphias, attends more WCSs. He could be a real powerhouse, but puCK he's been a tournament contender since the beginning of StarCraft.
2011, 2012, as puCK was getting big results there. Back then as a 2-base all-winner a lot of the time. But
solid.
He did, of course, diversify his play.
What else are you expecting in that era? You know?
That was actually the entire
You have to remember the era, okay? You have to remember the time period that these things are happening, Fair Dragon.
Yeah. But I am really looking forward to this. We did get to see a cannon rush from puCK. He has been cannon rushing the past couple of months, and I actually got word from some of the awesome cannon rushing discords that he has been practicing cannon rushes with some of the other cannon rushers like Talden and a few others.
Can we call it like a hate group? Can we get that banned?
No, we don't hate anyone.
I don't want cannon rushers coming together.
No, we don't hate anyone. It's not a hate group. It's a love group.
I don't want it.
Cannon rushers
I take it back.
I stand by the fact that cannon rushing is the most manly and straightforward thing you could possibly do in StarCraft.
Oh, I cannot bring up the conversation we've had previously about this, but I would love to.
If there's a cannon rush again, I will use the beginning moments to talk about it. But for now, we're going to be starting this game.
Yeah, no probes being sent out here. In the top left, as the red Protoss, it is Root puCK.
And down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, he's only not won a BlizzCon because he hasn't wanted one yet. But that's all about to change. He is MCanning.
Is MCanning truly the new Chuck Norris meme?
You know, MCanning once got supply blocked. The only reason why is because he scared off his own pylons with his own might.
That's the dumbest thing. But I appreciate it, Fear Dragon. I like your wit. Other people won't appreciate it, but I'll try to.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Although yesterday I did tell the chat that you took 15 years off my life with your puns. So.
Oh, by the way, I was listening to you and Nate in the last series just to I guess solidify some of the things you guys are talking about. Neeb did in fact invest most of the money. In fact, pretty much all the money he has won. I've talked to him about it.
Oh yeah.
He and his basically his parents have helped him invest all of that money. So Neeb is gonna be a well-off kid. In fact.
Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say, it makes me sad thinking about how much more well-off he is gonna be than me.
Yeah,
and everyone else.
That compound interest thing, when you're 19 years old, is gonna be big. I was gonna say, like, you know, what's both sad and awesome. Your choice, whether it's sad or awesome, is that sooner or later we're going to get the same parents who like force their kids to become actors. Right?
To try and force their kids to become pro players.
Yes, to become pro players, and they're going to take all their money and do really silly things with it. Ah, it's going to happen one day, guys.
By the way, I just love the cheese spray because puCK is such a playful player, and so is MCanning. So MCanning goes for the GLHF spray, and then puCK responds with the cheese spray, throws it down in his face. Both these guys are going to be going for Stalker Sentry, though. The follow-up is a little bit different here as MCanning gets up an extra Sentry for some more hallucinations and also Force Fields if you guys get attacked. It goes for the faster Nexus. But puCK adding on 2 more Stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sentry's a little bit cheaper on the mineral counts. The puCK adds on the Stalkers, adds on that Twilight Council, still on 1 base. No pylon even setting up here in the natural, though it looks like he will take the Nexus.
Yep.
He's not going to be afraid of being pushed soon anyways, once he sees the Nexus, which he's like, just like, just a little bit closer.
Ooh, nice job from puCK. Almost manages to maybe get a snipe
What?
off. Okay, this is fascinating.
But why though?
It's slower, but
Do
No.
you think there's like a void ray all in
No.
anywhere? Oh my
What?
god, he does!
No!
No. Oh, he almost did.
Oh my god, that is so cheeky. God, I love these guys. And StarCraft is the
I'm
best StarCraft guys. I'm sorry.
so happy that MCanning did not fall for this trap.
Oh, that was beautiful. That
mean,
was so good.
Was the proxy void ray stuff really ever that popular in PvP?
So it can be when you get the shield batteries and stuff up. Like it is in PvP the natural transition from like a cannon rush and stuff. So it can work there.
Sure, from a cannon rush,
Yeah.
but this was clearly not a well, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He didn't fall for it. I'm surprised that he almost did. Robotics Bay on the way for our boy MCanning.
So I really have to bring up Cheesadelphia because MCanning going for the robotics bay, this is the way that he was able to try and make close games happen a lot of the time with puCK at Cheesadelphia, but he rarely got past one, maybe two disruptors, and puCK always shut him down before that, and I think that's a smart decision. They have had a skirmish before in best of fives, and MCanning actually, that's the way that he beats puCK, is if he actually gets up to disruptor versus disruptor wars.
Oh, he just took the entire army out of position. The shield battery is not going to be powered, even though it will finish, and puCK already getting a lot of damage done, even though the Adepts didn't get the probes, now the Stalkers are. MCanning's also going to be incapable of going down the ramp. There's a force field.
puCK in firm control of this game so far, sniping off every single one of those workers from the natural expansion.
Well, I guess I'm equally surprised MCanning.
Oh, okay, that was a little bit of a mistake. I thought for a moment he was going to get ready to snipe off the sentry, but then reconsidering there, loses one of the Adepts.
And I hate to be this harsh, but like, I was already surprised he reacted to the Void Ray, but then to send his entire army up to deal with the Adepts? I guess he didn't realize there was a sentry worked in, so he wasn't that scared, but that was a bad move.
Okay, puCK is going to try and get the wrap around here as Blink is about to finish up. Only 4 Stalkers going to be attacking that pylon, but that does leave this Immortal a little bit barren right now in the defenses. Guardian Shield gets taken out. The sentries all dying. The 4 Stalkers finally make their way forward, and these Stalkers getting warped in are going to get focus fire down. A Disruptor will chase puCK back, but puCK is just getting so much value from these exchanges.
Yeah, that Blink finish at an absolutely perfect time right there. He was able to immediately go into the Blink micro, and we'll return.
puCK, are you about to? Okay. He warps in more units. He has a probe in the or had a probe in the bottom left, and he is building up to 400 minerals. I was really afraid he was about to go for a hidden third, but
no, just maybe a regular one as his probe is in position. Although this one is maybe just scouting for the third Nexus.
he's going to take that third.
Yeah, it's right next to yours. You'll never see it. But there's the. I figured that puCK was going to continue poking and prodding. He is the one with Blink right now, and MCanning is so late to that Twilight Council.
And I don't want to paint this as a picture of, oh, MCanning can totally easily bounce back from this. This is a tough spot for MCanning, but again, this is the way that MCanning plays. Is so many of his games, so many of his series, even the round of 32, he falls behind, but he gets up a disruptor count, and then MCanning with the disruptor, memes aside, it is really something to be afraid of.
He's going to just grab a gateway if he can. It's not actually possible, but he's trying to get MCanning one thing out of position, which happens. Oh no, he wasn't quick enough.
Oh, puCK with a little bit late of the blink, or the aggressive blink forward actually missed it there.
Well, he thought he could two-shot the disruptor, and it was darn Stalkers being slow attacking, man. Like,
wow.
That was a disaster. That's how MCanning gets back into a game.
Yeah, MCanning still down a little bit of course, worker supply, but his army supply is looking great. He's going to take the lead on the disruptor count as well. And he's taking a third base. Things are looking up for MCanning.
Yes, they are. Now, puCK, I mean, that's one big mistake, but not something that he's thrown the game yet with. As you said, he still has a decent army supply, still up in those workers, and now finally getting his own third Nexus, not that far behind MCanning, but the sheer numbers are going to be worse for puCK, and the decisions he makes now might be a little bit in doubts instead of being the confident puCK that we know. Maybe he's like, what if that happens again?
Yeah, puCK gonna use those Blink Stalkers to the maximum capacity. That is the unit that I would say, if MCanning's Spirit Animal is the Disruptor, I would actually say that puCK's Spirit Animal is the Blink Stalker. So if he can have some good control there, there's still definitely a lot of potential to continue harassing, continue to pick away at MCanning. He's got to be so careful about those Disruptors. Dark Shrine on the way here for MCanning. I love the 3-base Dark Shrines in PvP. They are so good. Because even if your opponent has observers, they're not always going to be at every single base. Even if your opponent has a photon cannon, that doesn't handle 3 DTs. It's something you really have to respect.
Yeah. He scouts it, but it is going to be a complication later on, as this will be a fight of who's paying attention more a lot of the time. If you are not paying attention for a second, well.
MCanning get the better end there, as his disruptor shot goes off a little bit faster, but loses the observer there, so he's going to have a harder time maybe sniping his opponent's observers. See that puCK. Oh, actually, he's got another observer. Snipes off puCKs. And remember, it's not only Disruptor Wars, but we also need to see more observers made from puCK.
We finally have the second Robo finish up for puCK, so that will help. I don't know what you were doing, buddy. Okay.
Got him.
That's what he was doing. Yeah, puCK, he might be trying to control the game, which is, you know, yeah, that's fair. Go ahead, try. He is taking some losses, and MCanning has found his way back into this game for sure at this point. 3 bases, double disruptor production for a while, now has capabilities of harassing with the Dark Shrine being done. We don't have any proxy pylons set up yet, but as the game goes on, we might see them both start setting those up.
Yeah, and once you get up to the point where you have roughly 9 to 10 or so disruptors, you start seeing the falling off of the value of getting more, just because it's so hard to control and actually split them up more effectively. So we do sometimes start to see Stargates and stuff being added on at that point. But, okay, puCK pulling his disruptors just out of range. At the same time, the Stalkers blink on top of the disruptors right now. Most of them on cooldown. The Immortal getting some damage done. But now, suddenly, MCanning losing his power and his defensive capabilities at the third.
Oh my god, gonna take out another disruptor. So only one disruptor left, and it's not gonna get the greatest shot. Doesn't get anything with that shot. puCK takes a commanding lead. After a couple of questionable engagements, he finds the perfect one to take out the disruptor count of MCanning. And now the Nexus goes down. MCanning thrown back to the Stone Age for economy. Is he really going to be able to come out of this one?
It looks very doubtful right now, as we end up seeing Disruptor's going to be able to zone MCanning out from chasing down any of these Stalkers. MCanning's third base is sitting very low on hit points as well. We do have a fourth base going up over here. This is one of those desperation Hail Mary plays saying, well, all of your Stalkers are up on the north side. I might be able to get up a third base, and he's lost some of his economy too, and that's what makes this really difficult.
DT finally starting to make an appearance, but oh no!
Ooh, good blink forward. Gonna be able to snipe off 2 of those disruptors, but he's gonna lose his third in exchange. Now again, he has a fourth base that was going up, but I don't know if that's actually gonna be enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not. It's not great to have the replacement third, actually, as puCK gets a real fourth base. Snipes of the disruptor, snipes of the disruptor. No mistakes made there.
Yep, that is a good way to start things off. It looks like there's a photon cannon inside the natural expansion in the main base mineral line, and MCanning scouts that out with his DT. He's gonna just back off, dodging out of the way of some of these disruptors. It goes for an aggressive blink forward. Remember, Blake's gonna be on cooldown. He goes for his own disruptor shot from behind. puCK blinks out of there in time. puCK still getting the better end of these trades, as the third base is only now, or I should say the fourth base is only now finishing up again for MCanning.
Yeah, he still has 52 workers, so it's a decent amount of saturation.
Ooh. Oh my god, that was a scary blink forward there from MCanning, because that disruptor shot went off before the Stalkers were even there.
Yeah, he's relying on one disruptor right now to try and bring him back in. He has a severe lack of gas. I'm actually really surprised he's getting 2 observers. But just missing out on the information can be just as deadly as not having the disruptors. So.
Yeah, I think also part of it, I'm not gonna lie, may just be that he realizes what a bad situation he's in, and being able to snipe off his opponent's observers may be his ticket back in.
Yeah, to get the DTs in.
Yeah.
That's certainly possible, but he has not found the observers, as many as he would want. And is still having to face off against a lot of disruptors, so he can never really chase as long as puCK doesn't throw all of them all at once.
And puCK just goes in from 2 different sides, and MCanning doesn't have a large enough army to handle both waves of aggression. The Stalkers for MCanning are blinking back and forth, and puCK, like a wave, comes in from one side and retreats out on the other, snipes off another disruptor, while MCanning is busy chasing down the Stalkers on the left. puCK is killing all the bases in the middle, or in the bottom right.
You know, if MCanning had some charge lots here, this might be doable. He has so many minerals after all, but a couple of, you know, plain zealots coming in. MCanning did chase the rest of the army off, but now is just stuck in a position where he can't help his natural that much. He's training on a little bit.
Yeah. MCanning did a really, really good job of pulling himself back in this game, but that one fight really, really escalated the whole situation. MCanning does get a bit lucky on that disruptor shot, and he's going to be able to snipe off these two, but this is still him sitting at less than half the supply right now of his opponent. He loses his third base and loses his economy. He's only got 2 disruptors of his own, and that is 2 more disruptors than puCK has. But puCK has so many stalkers.
Yeah, 40 stalkers to 19, and he's not getting hits, not really, by the disruptors, so that will be it. GG, puCK. Masterful control over the map. His positioning with his stalkers was quite good, made up for any bad disruptor shots he took.
Yeah, the 1-2 punches there for puCK is what really sealed the deal, because you were showing off the attack in the main base and just kind of the harassment that puCK was putting on, and that was what caused MCanning to lose sight of his disruptors for a split second. When you have those disruptors, you're relying on all of those for so much of your defense. You need to be so on point, and puCK, even just distracting him for about 2 seconds too long, puCK suddenly can break through. He can snipe off all the disruptors, and from there it was just a little bit of cleanup. It was just making sure you didn't make any more mistakes from there.
Yeah, no more catastrophic mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen tons of games where MCanning comes back from that position, though, because he just stays reserved on 3 bases, and he eventually does get that shot. But you see what happens usually if he's going to win the game. What happens after that is he's able to take the map himself, and he's the one controlling the flow and getting his observers out in the map, and that shift really goes in his favor. That never happened. Even when puCK took one of those bad disruptor shots, he still had the economy to replace it and was still very eager to get the harassment and the control going down, so MCanning could never, ever feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's a bit tough for MCanning because I do feel like puCK will more often than not garner the better situations in a lot of the earlier and mid-game stages of these PvPs. It's as the game moves on and as MCanning is able to get up 1, 2, 3 disruptors, I would say, that he can actually start making some of those big plays happen, as we saw in that last game. But it's about surviving to that point, but not just surviving, also not falling so far behind that it won't even really matter if you get 1 big disruptor shot. You need 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah. Let's not forget his Dark Shrine choice didn't really end up paying off, and while that wasn't really the most expensive choice, thankfully for that, buff the Dark Shrine got like 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
It was a choice that I think usually, if he can't break out with a good disruptor shot, he usually breaks out by getting harassment done so that the other Protoss player has to return home. And that just never happened in that game.
It's
I think
so
puCK
hard.
was already prepared.
puCK is he's such an aggressive player that if you, first of all, have your units even slightly out of position, like a War Prism tries to make its way across the map, puCK stalkers are so in your face, you just don't have breathing room to send out that War Prism safely. It's so difficult, and even if you did, you probably actually need those units and also your own attention span to deal with all of puCK's harassment. So that is one of the really, really strong sides of puCK, as he now sits up 1-0 in this best of 3. And he's going to be starting down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the best cannon rush map in the map pool. It is King's Cove. He is puCK.
And you know what's cannon rush?
No.
In the top left, as the blue Protoss. For flip side, he is MCanning. One of the only clans, teams, whatever you want to call it, that doesn't end in gaming or esports. It ends in tactics.
Flip side tactics. Yeah. Got a good team. Now, of course, like you said, going to be gateways coming down from both sides. Gas guys just going up. No cannon rush shenanigans happen on either end. I mentioned that puCK has been doing some cannon rushes. MCanning also not afraid to throw out a few cannon rushes here and there. I know he was practicing a few for his round of 32 group. Didn't end up busting any out.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with how strong it looked versus Neve, and I know it's as simple as being mentally prepared for it can sometimes make the difference with a cannon rush. I would have really liked to seen it.
Yeah, I mean, Protoss versus Protoss is the best matchup for the cannon rushes, and yeah, it can be really strong. It's actually quite difficult to hold off, but there's definitely it's one of those things where if you are prepared, it is really difficult to pull off if your opponent's super ready with a probe pull. They know that it's coming or something again.
Yeah, and if you know your opponent was also practicing cannon rushing, then they probably have a better understanding of how to defend against it. It's usually those people who don't cheese at all that are the worst against cheese type thing. So if they both know that they both can cannon rush, then maybe they're both also
What? Idra?
on guard.
Bad versus cheese and doesn't cheese?
He's like the poster boy for that saying, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, we got Stalker Sentry coming out from both sides. Seeing a delayed warp gate here from puCK. Might be seeing a Stargate really quickly, or as he is, I think, wants to take out this probe here first before he goes on his tech.
Yeah.
Oh no, he does start up warp gate instead because I think he realizes doesn't want the tech scouted.
Yeah, it wasn't as late as it might have looked like it was going to be. Slightly behind, both opening up the same way. We are not seeing anyone with an expansion placed pylon very quickly.
MCanning doing the pylon block and then cancels it. It does give him just a bit of vision to see, okay, are you going Stalker Sentry? You're going double Adept? Do I have to worry about leaving a probe at the front door to wall off? Sees that he doesn't need to.
MCanning could have waited like a second longer for the Twilight Council, but maybe just decided it wasn't worth it. He does sit it down as well as get a Nexus. puCK did own the Twilight Council, but he got those slightly more expensive Stalkers, so his Nexus is slightly later.
Yep, throws down the pylon to low ground, and we see a proxy pylon here from MCanning. Are we going to be seeing a Dark Shrine? It is timed out pretty close, so the Twilight Council finishes up. That pylon going to be finishing soon. It is Blink coming out, so that might just be a slow warp-in pylon. We also see Hallucinate Phoenix getting scouted by the Stalkers, but I'm going to equally say that the Stalkers are scouted by the Phoenix, and that's going to allow MCanning to position his units down to the low ground.
And if puCK was going to try and do his hallucinated shenanigans again, then MCanning would be like, no, that's not really your army. Don't try and trick me. But if MCanning's going to stay on the high ground, puCK could poke at the Nexus a little while. It's actually just going to be a very aggressively placed Phoenix that's definitely going to get the full scout, the Sentry being in that position.
That is most definitely sure. And we end up seeing, of course, a shield battery finishing up behind that main base mineral line, really showing that MCanning is a bit cautious about how scary puCK's aggression can be. I'm sure he was watching that series versus Neeb and saw that some of that Stalker pressure, not so easy to hold off.
Well, puCK was the first one to show potential pressure. He didn't really do very much. We are still waiting on MCanning's pressure to appear. Blink is only about halfway down, a little over, and MCanning's not making any moves to go out on the map, so maybe this pylon just won't be used.
I think it's, it's what I always used to call the Naniwa pylon, just because Naniwa was so good at this back in the day, where even if he's not looking to make aggression happen, and of course this is before the pylons, the warp-ins got nerfed and you have slow warp-ins and stuff, but you just have a pylon out on the map because if you ever are contained or you're under a lot of pressure, that whole thing we were talking about, being able to put pressure back on puCK and he was so aggressive, it was hard to. That proxy pylon is what kind of allows you to warp in 2 Adepts and just send them out. And as long as you feel like you can defend back at home, you still have the opportunity to move in.
Yeah. No, it's still useful, and I'm still a little surprised when Pro players don't start sending pylons around the map when they used to be the thing to do past like the 10-minute mark.
We're spoiled by warp prisms, I'm telling you.
Well,
Depths in the main?
Yes, they should not be in the main, but yet they are. puCK was out of position. He was watching his Stalkers, I suppose, getting ready to attack, so he wasn't watching his main ramp. And 4 probes do go down for it. A little bit more.
Ooh.
Maybe 1 more here.
Yeah, gonna be
actually
able to
more
get
than
7,
1 more. Sentry, please, tickle. Tickle! Okay, 7.
I would love if the death animation or the death sound effect for units that died to a Sentry was actually that unit laughing.
Can we
voice actor?
Please get a skin for the Sentry that is a Tickle Me Elmo?
That would get so annoying. I would love doing that in a mono battle. A Sentry mono battle and you just have hundreds of Tickle Me Elmos.
That would be the thing in Nightmares, by the way, because like there's a laser beam coming out of Elmo's mouth. Terrifying.
Oh. Okay, we got a Hallucinated Phoenix making a scout here, and MCanning so close to scouting out these Stalkers, but only now is going to see him. 4 Stalkers only going to blink up into the main base. I love that he's just testing the waters here. Blink's going to come off cooldown so he can retreat back, and then the 5 Stalkers on the low ground could move into the natural. Sees that is also covered by MCanning with all the Stalkers on the low ground, so good defense here from MCanning. Doesn't lose too much.
Yeah.
Whoa, aggressive blink forward from puCK.
Very, very much so. MCanning has a bit of a worker lead, slightly less on that army, but faster into the disruptors as puCK's still not throwing down any additional tech.
Yeah, I mean, I think puCK for now, he's putting on this pressure and he's doing a good job with it, but there is going to be a Dark Shrine. He did force out a lot of, look at all these shield batteries. He is really putting MCanning on the defensive. And the funny thing is, if these Stalkers find a chance, they can still go up to the main base, and the Immortal and the Disruptor can't really follow.
It is puCK this game that goes for the Dark Shrine, hoping that MCanning's going to have to, well, he's wrong, but I was going to say, have to use like Force Fields or Guardian Shield, but now there is a Hallucinated Phoenix that scouts that out. You know, but we saw in his TVP that he used the Dark Templars for Archons.
Harassment in the natural of puCK right now. Okay, it does get cleaned up. There was 3 probes that went down to, I think, some Adepts again from that proxy pylon.
Yeah. Their Nexus goes down. puCK will eventually, I feel like he's eventually going to take care of pylon.
MCanning. This is not a great time for MCanning to be moving out. Once puCK realizes this is happening and sees that there's not a line, he blinks up to the main base, gonna be able to snipe off a pretty important pylon. Supply blocking MCanning. Gets one more, he can depower 2 of the warp gates.
Yeah, actually, you think he'll win that.
But MCanning just pushing his way across the map.
Yeah, he's gonna go for it.
This is a pretty big Stalker ball. I actually am not even sure if puCK can recall all these Stalkers with 1 recall.
Oh my gosh. Oh no! He was really depending on the Disruptor.
Oh,
okay, everything's depowered. MCanning is supply blocked. Everything's depowered. This is the only army we're going to see from this guy. Cannons are coming up desperately to protect his natural, which does have a lot of shield batteries. I tell you, but that's not going to be in time.
Yeah, very important to note that MCanning does have 2 observers on the map, and he actually sneaks the second one out from his natural expansion. He does not have any probes. Where are his probes? He didn't send any out?
Who are we talking about?
MCanning.
MCanning, he's fighting with them. I mean, the shield batteries help them a tiny little bit, but without any cannons helping, without any stalkers.
Getting them out now.
Easy peasy.
But the stalkers are going to be able to chase those down effectively, and I love MCanning just splitting up one of the workers to the right that does bait the stalkers in the wrong direction. But the rest of the stalkers actually encounter the rest of these probes in the center.
Well, they can't chase down all of them. So many of the stalkers are still chasing, killing the natural base. MCanning's in the hearts of puCK's army. They both have lost technology, production. It's down to whatever they have here right now, and MCanning does have the larger army supply with the more lethal units.
Oh, MCanning's starting to repower one of his robo facilities. He doesn't have enough for a Nexus, so this is going to be an all or nothing thing. He wants to get out the Disruptor. It's not going to come out. If he cancels the pylon in time, I was going to say, if you cancel the pylon, you can cancel the Disruptor. I think he would have had enough for a Nexus, but now he won't.
Yo, that's a good point. I see what you're saying with that. Yeah, that could have been another decision, but clearly it wasn't one he was thinking about. He really wanted the Disruptor. Now it's not going to happen, and just to be sure of it, puCK should go ahead and kill it. There we go. Yep. No extra unit popping out without his knowledge.
Yeah. And you see that extra 100 minerals, or 70, actually it would have been 2 minerals short of a Nexus if you had canceled the pylon after it built.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, that would have been even more painful.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
The bright side is puCK only has 1 probe, so if he's able to snipe off that 1 probe, that does prevent puCK from getting into that kind of I can rebuild territory. And hey, this is relatively even army supply. This is still anyone's game.
Yeah, I guess I can go off the production tab. Nothing's producing. 1 DT versus 2 observers, 2 disruptors versus 20 stalkers. Huh. I mean, there's also 14 stalkers for MCanning, though, so
yeah.
that's...
Skirmish in the center, by the way, as MCanning's trying to chase down those disruptors over there. We end up seeing these stalkers blinking out. Gets the observer, though. Ooh, that is very nice, because remember, there's a DT out for puCK. If he loses... Actually, you can't snipe the observers off anymore for MCanning.
Exactly. That was the best thing about that for MCanning. He might not know it. You can't be 100% sure, but you know that was still a very good grab, and soon enough he'll see, consistently no observers and know that that was the last one.
Okay, disruptors are here. They are being reserved because MCanning wants to wait for blinks to be used so that he can shoot out that disruptor shot and force the stalkers to run away rather than just kind of blink back.
Taking his main base again.
Well, MCanning knows that the Nexus has been thrown down. He doesn't know where, but he does have pretty good map vision with this probe scattered around.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing some bases, but he might, eventually figure out. Yeah. So it feels like MCanning wins this, to be honest. Like, puCK not only doesn't have any of his own disruptors, he also doesn't have a Guardian Shield or an Immortal. All great units against stalkers.
I think it's sort of, I agree with you in theory. The one caveat is that there are more stalkers here still for puCK, and if he micros really well, theoretically he can eventually get some stalker pickoffs, but he's starting to lose some of his stalkers. He blinks forward aggressively. He's going to lose a lot of his stalkers with the Disruptor, and that is going to be MCanning taking the second game.
MCanning is an odd player, but I would say that puCK is more odd in his decisions, and he is the type person to force a base race when maybe you didn't have to. Actually kind of justified, and MCanning is like, you don't win this one, guy. It's fine.
Yeah, MCanning doing a great job with that base trade. Not getting the probes out or being able to build the Nexus, but still just having that army composition he needs to take the direct fight, really benefiting him. Now we got a game 3. This is a really, really close series. And remember, it's a best of 3. This might be the first time MCanning is able to beat puCK in a tournament.
That would be pretty amazing. But that was such a, you know, nail-biting close. It was easily, you know, puCK, I forget his name. It's easily puCK deciding to recall and or getting into disruptors a bit faster. That could have changed it. Because he had a disruptor on the high ground and things are a bit different. Like these, you can't really depend on that type of game to happen again. Even if puCK is the type of guy who forces some games like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think, rare to find the perfect scenario where your army really is that much better than puCK's and really is in the perfect position to initiate a base race.
All right, game number 3. The map is going to be Port Alexander to settle things here in Group C. Only one of these American heroes is going to be able to move on. We're going to find out which Protoss player it'll be.
You know what I've learned in this series, Spear Dragon?
What?
Whoever makes a Dark Shrine loses.
I don't like that fact. Okay, I don't like that fact.
The 99% useful fact.
No. I don't deal in useful facts, zombie grub.
Just useless ones.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some pretty easy shots I could take, but...
Well, if I have 99% useless facts, then, and they're 1% useful, then in 100 different situations, I'll be able to cover all my bases and I'll have 100% useful situations.
But you probably, you know there's probably more than 100 situations in StarCraft. I mean, that Alpha Star graphic that was like, you know, decisions made in StarCraft, whatever, is like n to the whatever power.
There may or may not be. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Okay. That's not what we're, that's not, whatever. In the top left, is the blue Protoss. It is MCanning.
And down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we got our red Protoss player from Root Gaming. He's puCK.
Like, there's more than 100 different scenarios. Your answer is...
You're really caught up on this.
Your answer is only the Sith deal in absolutes.
Yeah.
Like, how does that...
Math is an absolute. If you start throwing out exact, precise numbers, that's an absolute. In fact, the absolute value of that is 100. It is an absolute. You might say that you just gave me an absolute value.
I'm done. I'm done.
Are you?
Done with this conversation.
I tried to move on.
No, you just did the intros. We all know that intros...
What's your favorite MCanning story?
Oh, I don't have one. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty lame as far as StarCraft goes, you know? You're talking to me about battle cruisers, I'm going to look at you blankly. Talk about MCanning, and be like, I don't know, there's some guy named Diesel Max Power that flipping loves that guy. Like, that's all I know.
That's true. He does continuously send you games of MCanning to cast.
Yes, that's the only reason. I'm like, MCanning, who's that? Super popular Twitch streamer, all-around nice guy, takes down me, but Cheesadelphia. No.
Not everyone knows about the mystical powers of MCanning. Not everyone was there at the beginning of the creation of the universe where the first disruptor exploded, thereby giving way to the entire universe. And also, by the way, the Xel'Naga came from a disruptor shot. Most people didn't know that. And then from there, they crafted the rest of the races.
Oh, MCanning is that one Xel'Naga that helps you in Legacy of the Void. He's actually a Cthulhu monster. Ugh.
Yep. Remember, they, of course, in the story, they take on the appearance that is most fitting. Their actual appearance is a disruptor.
Oh, I thought their actual appearance was a handsome young lad.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The disruptor.
Yeah.
The same thing. Oh god, this is crazy. But we're getting into some very important territory PvP.
So I know you guys have been talking a bit about this and seeing some of these 3 sentry openings off of the Stalker. I have talked with Estrella a bit about this kind of things, like going for the large number of sentries early on. It's really nice for dealing if you're trying to defend like your natural against a lot of the pressure, just because the force fields are so useful. But then also it's like a really safe opening versus gateway or like mid-game gateway pressure, but then versus early gateway pressure does get a bit dicey.
This was a sick denial for puCK in particular. MCanning tries to deny it as well, but I mean, it's good information for puCK, don't get me wrong. You want to deny scouting, but I think that was more useful for puCK to deny MCanning.
Oh, they both have proxy pylons going down in different corners.
but MCanning has not 3 gateways, and puCK has 3 gateways.
Yep. This is most definitely a massive attack here. And, ooh, MCanning just saw just enough Stalkers. He saw this isn't just 3 Stalkers and a Sentry. This is 5 Stalkers and a Sentry making their way across the map. So he's throwing down a shield battery. I think the Neeb response is just immediately start throwing down 2 more shield batteries as soon as you get the resources for it. We'll see if puCK is going to be able to make this work. He's got a probe situated by the natural to maybe make it look like he's going to take an expansion, but I don't think he's taking an expansion with this.
I don't think so either, but maybe he was also keeping it open in case he couldn't. He thinks he couldn't do the attack, but he's definitely doing the attack.
Yeah, he is 100% doing this attack. I don't.
Oh wow! He just cancels everything, evacuates, goes into a dark shrine.
This is such an interesting response, because if you give up the Nexus, some people would say, yeah, this is worth it.
How are you not being stiff? Sorry if you're dragging on. It just bothered me, like, how they try and go a Dark Shine, and there's like a billion hallucinated Phoenixes that keep on scouting it.
I'm actually really oh, no, he didn't have his MK didn't have the probe at the South Pylon. I thought he would have thrown down this Dark Shrine at the South Pylon, but he didn't have the probe there anymore.
I don't know, man. This was an odd response. I don't think it's gonna work out.
Yeah, it cancels the Dark Shrine. The hallucinating Phoenix sees the cancel, by the way, as well.
Okay, so MCanning.
No, this is a terrible spot for MCanning.
Yeah, I mean, he gets denied with the Dark Shrine. He gets denied with any, like he knows it was canceled, so puCK just has full information here.
2 Adepts making their way across the map. They are not going to be able to make their way in because there's a full wall off here, and now a single Adept gets warped in for puCK. Second Adept should be able to handle that as puCK charges on forward. Going to use that Warp Prism to try and ferry the units that get trapped on the other side of the force field up. I think he might have lost a cent. No, keeps that sentry alive with 2 hit points left over.
I don't know how these Adepts aren't cleaned up, but there we go. That pylon a little weak. Eventually that pylon will be killed just to transfer down probes, and MCanning knows that. He has full intel to tell himself, man, I am almost 100% screwed here.
Yep, he snipes off 2 probes, and I guess the bright side is that he's not behind on workers. He's still producing workers, expecting that he'll eventually be able to break out of his main base. He's gonna have his robotics bay finishing up soon, at which point I guess he's going for Disruptor?
Yeah. Well, you know, you brought up those replays that were sent in to me, right? This is every single MCanning comeback story ever, is that he gets contained on one base, he gets Disruptors, somehow makes it out, and just wins the game from there.
Yep. Fun fact also is that those Disruptors do make their way through force fields, so you cannot force field out the Disruptor shot. If those sentries are too close to the ramp, they end up dying to the Disruptor unless you got godlike Warp Prism Micro like puCK does. But we end up having the Phoenix move forward, and guess what? It's going to spot out that Disruptor.
You know, generally I would believe in MCanning's ability to make a comeback with Disruptors, but you know why I don't this game?
Why? Because you're a bad guy?
Because he made a Dark Shrine.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what?
It's the curse.
I think you're just a bad guy that roots against heroes. And I think puCK is also a hero, so don't get me wrong.
No. Hero's one of my favorite Protoss players.
Which one? Which one of the 3?
Both of them.
Both of them.
No. The third hero is a Zerg player.
That's true. The Brood War
Bear Dragon, you're embarrassing me to the Brood War elitists.
It's okay. Team Liquid will forgive me. They're a very forgiving community.
Yes, especially the Brood War community. That's a lot of scouts going down for MCanning.
Yeah.
He wants to know the full extent of what's going on here.
Well, I think that is one of the big things that MCanning is usually pretty good at, is he is good about just having a good read on the game, and that is oftentimes off of just whatever information you can gather. And if you are able, for example, to get a really good read on the army composition, where your opponent's army is, that's how you do land good Disruptors. That's how you do actually manage to make comebacks.
No, it's absolutely true. If you can get to a decent number of Disruptors and have the map vision to set up his back attack Disruptors you sometimes see, oh yeah, 100%, he can take an army fight again. But there is no opportunity to do that as puCK is already moving in here. He scouts 3 Disruptors. I'm pretty sure he saw all 3. Well, he's force fields.
3 Disruptors is enough that you can't just easily, if 2 of the Disruptors are off of cooldown, you can't really just blink on a Disruptor, because I think that 2 Disruptors might be able to get their shots off in time.
Well, now he's down 1 shot.
Hallucinates an Immortal as well to try and scare back puCK. Sends out another shot. This first shot should be off of cooldown soon, but he loses a sentry in the meanwhile. Some Adepts getting some damage on the other side of the map. We're trying to.
Yeah, no, I'm trying not to miss that Disruptor shot, but MCanning is trying to distract puCK and also trying to take some probes down. Doesn't really work out, though. You have to commit more to that.
Ooh, that's a good Disruptor shot as the Adepts on the other side of the map, maybe distracting puCK a little bit. It looks like MCanning's Adepts are going to get cleaned up. The Nexus starting to get a bit low on hit points.
Yeah, that is something that he can certainly target. And if he gets the Nexus once again, that might just solidify his win, even against the Disruptors, in which he snipes 1 and a sentry. These other 2 are still on cooldown, I suppose, so he continues to wreak havoc here.
Yeah, doing a lot of damage to the probe count, and that is something that MCanning's gonna have a hard time recovering from. Big blink forward, kind of surprised, but he is gonna be able to get away in time. Wow, that spacing from puCK is so good, knowing exactly where he could blink forward.
Yeah, I was surprised that Disruptor didn't get any shot. He didn't quite get the Immortal, which he was trying to target fire, but now the Nexus is going to go down after 12 probes went down, so MCanning really is just relying on his Disruptors to get that amazing shot to bring this game back. And now with only down to 2, puCK is going to be actually rather confident in the micro here.
Yeah, I do think it's one of those weird situations. It's a really hard call right now because if you get too aggressive, you might lose a lot of Stalkers, but he just goes for the big blink onto the army. Disruptors can't hit you if you're on top of your opponent's army too. Now he's going to be able to force this army back up the ramp. No hope of taking a Nexus for a little bit now. And puCK is just continuing to macro back up. The longer this game goes, the better it is for puCK.
Yeah, he's got more production on the way. Looks like he cleared up maybe one proxy pylon. Still another one for the Adepts, but MCanning's looking for bigger results than just a couple of killed probes. He wants the entire army, which he doesn't really get.
GG. puCK is going to knock down a god, a legend, and advance his way on to the round of 8, where I think a lot of people would say he belongs as one of the best Protoss players in all of North America.
Yeah, he was consistent in last year's Challengers, right? So it's something that he was certainly expecting, but MCanning gave him a run for his money.
Yeah, all memes aside, MCanning definitely the underdog in this series. Again, he's never beaten puCK in a tournament series, but I'd say he got pretty close to making some stuff happen in this series today, and definitely, I'm sure, earned himself a lot of fans from people who don't already know his stream. Great stream indeed. But big shout out to puCK. He does manage to make it out. He's also a fantastic streamer, one of my favorite streamers. I think actually one of InControl's favorite streamers to watch as well. But MCanning, of course, now then falling down alongside Epic. That means that Neeb and puCK are the 2 players that you're going to be seeing in that round robin for Americas from Group C. How you feeling about that, Zombie Grub?
Well, that's the expected one, you know. Unfortunately, Epic, really sick, couldn't even show his full potential, and even then, that might not have been enough. You did expect Neeb and puCK to make it out.
Yeah. Well, guys, that does do it for the games that we're going to be seeing today, as that was the decider match. But in case you guys missed out on some of the games that we saw from yesterday and the day before, the round of 16, we did have Group A and Group B already play out yesterday and the day before. We had Raynor and Petit Drogo advancing out on the European side of things. Big congratulations to them, and I believe that they also advanced out alongside Scarlet and Cham on the America side of things on the same day. Cham being one of the big noteworthy ones there because he did manage to be special in that group, Group A. I think also from the European Group B, we ended up seeing just yesterday Lambo and Hero Marine advancing on over Hate Me and New Thermal. Big shout out to Hate Me, who actually had some really great games, and I think definitely gave them a run for their money. But from the America side, we had Masa and Probe advancing on out. The Chinese players Firefly and Coffee did not quite manage to make their way out of the group, but big shout out to the players that did. And that is, of course, all the standings that we have so far. Of course, we also had some European groups and stuff happening today. Showtime inching his way out. A Laser doing well. But guys, we got one more day of WCS Winter tomorrow. And that's going to be it for maybe a month and a half before we go to the round robin.
I'm going to miss you all. I'm going to miss you.
Oh. What are you going to do during the break, Zombie Grub?
I can't cry with my mascara. What? What?
So what are you going to do during the break?
Oh, what am I doing in summer break? Probably going to go to King's Dominion. Probably, Florida. That's what people do in their summer vacation. That's what I'm going to do.
That's fair. That's a good time. I, of course, am going to be watching IEM Katowice and WESG.
Oh, yeah, those things.
Yeah, those StarCraft events.
Yeah.
Really cool StarCraft events. So, again, guys, we got one more day. We hope to see you at the same time tomorrow to close out the round of 16 for WCS Winter. Until then, we'll see you next time.